Hello there friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. In today's episode there will be spoilers from Season 2 of Andor. I took a look at the comments in my last video and it seems like a lot of people were confused about what happened between Brasso and Kellen at the end of episode 3. And I get it, sometimes things happen kind of fast and you miss important details. It happens to me all the time when I'm watching these shows. So basically, Kellen is the owner of a general store on the agricultural world of Mineral. The planet's farms are organized into a large cooperative, and a good portion of the farmers are shareholders, while others are documented or undocumented labor. Typically, in these types of cooperative settings, there is a sense of community and family that is built amongst the workers, and Kellen is kind of like a shepherd to all of the people in the fields near his general store. He makes sure that the farmers have the inputs necessary to grow their crops. He makes sure that, toolies like Brasso, Bix, and Wilman Pak have the right tools and equipment to repair all the machinery on the farms. Having this position in the community also allows him to frequently interact with everyone, and he seems like a genuinely nice person, and he watches out for all the workers in his sector, whether they're illegal or not. He's not necessarily a political activist. I don't think he has this savior complex about him. He's just, again, a decent person with a very clear moral compass. And so when the Empire carries out an audit on the planet and begin randomly checking people for their working visas and imprisoning them if they don't have the right documentation, he tries his best to keep undocumented workers like Brasso, Wilman, and Bix notified about what's happening. Yes, these individuals are undocumented. They are technically working here illegally, but this is kind of a very widespread occurrence, it seems like, on agricultural planets like this, and so Kellen decides to save these individuals from what he sees as a greater evil: Imperial labor prison camps. Now, unfortunately, before the Ferrex group can escape the Imperial audit team, which is just a bunch of stormtroopers, the Imperial audit arrives at Kellen's general store. Brasso and Bix are in their little habitat nearby when this happens, and they're prepared to leave, but then they realize Wilman Pak is nowhere to be seen. To make matters worse, he's left his speeder at the general store, and that will raise some questions. And so Brasso hops on his own speeder and tries to find Wilman and warn him about what's happening. The only problem is that when you're, 6'3" and built like a brick house, it's kind of hard to hide. And he gets spotted immediately, which leads to the following conversation that has confused a lot of the fans.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't tell him. I'm gonna kill you.
On him! Hold him! You betraying bastard!
Use us up. Turn us in. You'll pay for this crap.
You're lucky we were here.
I know for some of you guys it's obvious that Brasso is acting here. He's a dude playing a dude who's playing another dude. And if you don't really understand who Brasso is as a character, his personality, what motivates him, then it's very easy to just take him at his word in this scene. Is it when you're born that size, the size of a left tackle, life will treat you differently. Even in an advanced society like the one in Star Wars, where people rely on machines and droids to do heavy labor, physical strength and size still commands a great deal of respect. Now, lesser men will believe that they are actually deserving of this respect, and they'll start to expect it from other people. Guys like Steven Seagal, who's made a career of acting tough and bullying and hurting actors and stuntmen in order to reinforce his twisted view of masculinity. I absolutely hate people like this. I despise them. Back in the day when football was my life, I used to headhunt those motherfuckers on the field using a beautiful and now illegal technique called the crackback. It's all about leverage and them looking the other way. Sometimes people like this need to be humbled, because otherwise they won't stop bullying others. They won't stop taking things that they believe they deserve. And I get it to a certain extent. I get it's hard to resist the temptation of power. I'm sure this is something that the Jedi can relate to. And that's what makes Brasso so special as a human being. He understands the power that he naturally has because of his size, but instead of using it to enforce his will on others or take advantage of others or make his own life easier, he does the exact opposite. He's a guardian, a protector, a pillar of this community. All he does is serve others. Officially, his job description is a grappler. He basically tears apart ships at the local salvage yard. It's a violent job, but when you see him interact with his friends, who are really his family, he's actually a very gentle individual who has great emotional depth in intelligence. When Andor comes to him after that incident on Morlana 1 with an injured arm and looking disheveled and super sketchy, asking desperately for someone to help him create an alibi, Brasso hesitates for about a second before just playing along.
Who's going to be asking?
So Cavus was out, then you remembered you still had half a bottle of Nog stashed at home. So we went there and drank ourselves to sleep. Please, I really need this.
Not only does he agree immediately to help Andor, he doesn't press him about what's happening. He just trusts his childhood friend.
Whatever this is, when it's done, pull your boots on and get to work. You look like a wreck.
It's a courageous move, and I guess whatever he's been through with Cassian, it's enough to secure his loyalty. And this isn't the only time he does something like this. I mean, all throughout the show, even though Brasso is just a minor character, he's always making his impact felt. This is why I love him as a character. This is why audiences love him as a character. He's truly a good guy. Whether he's saving Willman's dumbass from the riot after he throws that bomb, or, getting in the way of officers trying to chase down Bix. And when Andor has to flee Ferrix, who does he entrust to watch his mom? It's Brasso, of course.
She fell trying to pry open the Aldrich's floodgate.
Is she going to flush them out?
No. She wanted to see if the tunnel under the hotel was still open.
Why?
So the rebellion can sneak in and take them by surprise.
I should be coming by more often.
Is that your mother?
Or yours.
How can you not like a guy like this, who never shies away from helping other people? Communities, groups, they form around such strength and selflessness. Growing up, we all had friends like Brasso. I knew a guy named Jay Brown. I came from a town with a terrible football team. We had not been to the playoffs for almost 50 years. And I remember at one point, I think we were like sophomores, and we were on the varsity team. That's how you know it's not a great team. Jay Brown kind of got fed up about all of this, and he took things into his own hands. He started working out every day. He started bulking up, increasing his size. I mean, this guy, you would used to see him in high school in the hallways with a bag of sandwiches. It was just like an empty Wonder Bread bag that was full of sandwiches, and the teachers used to get angry at him, so he couldn't eat them in class, and he would oftentimes be in the bathroom eating these sandwiches. I remember meeting him many times in the bathroom doing exactly that. He was famous for it. And soon enough, he started getting really strong. I mean, like really big. And that inspired others, especially the younger kids, the underclassmen. They also started hitting the gym. And over the next few years, we created quite a community on the football team, all surrounding Jay Brown. And by the time we were seniors, we had developed a really good culture on the team. We had ended hazing. We used to take all the underclassmen out, or as many as we could, to one of the local diners called Huck Finn in Union, New Jersey. They have great pasta salad. I hope they still have good pasta salad. We weren't the most talented group of kids. We weren't big or fast, but we were disciplined. We believed in each other, and more importantly, by senior year, we believed in Jay Brown because he was close to like 280 pounds, and he was parallel squatting close to 750 pounds. I mean, he was a freaking beast. He was getting D1 looks all over the place. But then disaster struck in our first game. We won, but the Nike grass destroyed Jay Brown's ACL. It tore it completely. Nike grass, back then at least, this is terrible. It's spongy, you get your foot stuck in it, and horrible things happen. Instead of being distraught about, potentially losing scholarships and going to big schools to play football, Jay Brown took another approach. I mean, first, this guy was tough, really tough. A lot of these big guys are tough. They can take physical beatings. It's really just a size thing. Guys like him, they don't think twice about the sacrifices they make for other people. And so, of course, instead of sitting out the season and letting his knee and ACL heal so that he could potentially still go out for college ball, he decided to play. Jay Brown threw a brace on his knee, and he played the whole season. Now, we had a small team. Most of us played Ironman football. That means every play and special teams. Now, Jay Brown not only continued playing both sides of the football, he did it without having the ability to turn his knee. I mean, heck, I didn't even know you could play football or run on a knee that has a torn ACL. I mean, this is all new to me. It used to be ACL tear means end of season. That's it. This torn ACL did limit his abilities as a left guard. Someone, he couldn't really do trap plays, turn. But on defense, playing nose guard, Jay Brown used to hold up at least 2 linemen every play, sometimes 3. We made it to the playoffs that year for the first time in my town's history. And a lot of that is because we had a great defense. And that all starts on the D line. I mean, we just stopped the run real well. And I tell you, without Jay Brown, there was no way we could have ever made it that far. Guys like J. Brown, guys like Brasso, they lend their strength to others. They make people around them stronger and better. I mean, to do that with your life, it shows great moral clarity and great moral strength. And, I don't think guys like Brasso and J. Brown even realize how important they are to the communities that basically grow around them. And even more importantly, guys like J. Brown, like Brasso, if you take a close look at how they act, there's no false masculinity, right? There's no self-consciousness about their image, this crazy obsession with, other people respecting them. I remember very clearly this is something that J. Brown wanted to do. Not only were we not hazing the kids, we tried to nurture a type of masculinity that was truly positive, that was about bringing other people up and not slamming people to the ground. We only did that to the other team. So guys like this, guys like Brasso, there's no false toughness covering one's own insecurity. They have a full range of emotion. They're healthy, well-adjusted men. They can go from hitting an Imperial officer in the face with a brick to showing empathy for even the most forgotten life forms like B2 Emo after Martha passes.
I can't leave you here alone. She wouldn't want that.
You could stay.
One night.
There's great depth to characters like Brasso. I mean, these are the role models we should be following. This is exactly what people should be doing with their strength, to help weaker individuals, to give voice to those who have none, and to never use that strength to oppress other people, take advantage of other people who are weaker than you. And so now that you have a better understanding of who Brasso is, right, take a look at the scene one more time and tell me what you see.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't tell him. I'm gonna kill you.
On him! Hold him! You betrayed bastard!
Use us up. Turn us in. You'll pay for this crime.
You're lucky we were here.
That violence, that anger we see from Brasso, it comes from a place of probably love and appreciation mixed with a good deal of frustration over what's happening. Not only was Brasso putting on a terrific act, until the very end, his actions were selfless and designed to protect the people he cared about, whether it's, Wilman Pak, who he's looking for, or Kellen, who he's trying to protect. In an alternative reality where Kellen does betray Brasso, Brasso's reaction probably would have been more aligned with disappointment rather than just outright anger or this desire for revenge. Because beneath all that bulk is a humble working class man who over the course of his life has carried so much weight, so many other people's burdens on his shoulder, that in death he finally gets some rest. Rest in peace, Brasso. It's always sad when you see characters like this go. You obviously want to see them around forever, but then without that sacrifice, without the impact of their loss, we don't really learn anything, right? And that's the beauty of Star Wars. George Lucas always meant it to be a template for young folks, or just not so young folks like us who, like me, who's still learning lessons in my older age, right? It's a guide in sorts, and I think Tony Gilroy does a great job. He's fantastic at creating these everyman heroes that really relate to us. Brasso reminds me so much of the heroes that I have in my own life, and I think that's something we're missing in today's day and age, because we've shifted from a close-knit society where there's communities in every town to more of an online, social media-driven community where interactions aren't good. And so, like the Brassos of yesterday, they're not able to, wield their power in the same way they used to be, right? Brasso can't protect the kid from online bullying nearly as well as he can protect the kid in real life bullying. But I think we can all learn a little bit from Brasso. We all have our own strengths. We don't all need to be big and strong. We have our voices, we have our intellect. We have all sorts of tools that we can use to help each other out, because when you start building a community, that's when you start healing yourself, you start healing the people around you, you start creating stronger and stronger foundations that can weather political crisis, economic crisis, natural disasters or whatever. I think that's what this country, what this world has been missing. I think this is what we've exchanged for technology. Obviously, I benefit a lot from this technology, but there is this other side, right? We've kind of made the Brassos of the world antiquated. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button down below so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. As usual, my name is Alan, reminding you my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy.